Welcome to the program. Today's topic is casting for films and TV shows, and I have a special guest who's going to help us on this particular topic. He's been involved in the entertainment, motion picture, TV industry in general for about 22 years. He's very knowledgeable in the field. He's going to give us special attention in this area of casting for films and TV shows, as I've just said. There's going to be three principal areas that he's going to talk about. One is relative to a star or top billing casting. Another is principal and day player casting, and also background and atmosphere casting. These are the different categories of people who participate in feature films and TV shows in general. These are the categories that the people have. In addition to my special guest's talents, he's also involved in TV commercials, printed media, music videos, and also acts as a producer's representative. He's multi-talented. Joseph Guinan II, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you very much for having me here, Dean.
Good.
It's a pleasure seeing you.
I'm glad you could make it and attend. I know you have a very busy schedule. I'm glad you could be here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
As mentioned, Joseph, can we start off by talking about background and atmosphere casting?
All right, background and atmosphere casting for feature films and TV shows starts out as the basics. After 22 years, everything started as headshots. Everybody would submit in a headshot, let it be a theatrical commercial headshot, and this would be for feature dramatic looks. And what we'd do is we'd pick out, first of all, the featured extras that would be next to, let's say, the celebrity, let it be Martin Landau or Tony Curtis in the last film that I did, called David and Fatima. But what happens in that field is opening up so many envelopes. Thank God for the internet, we won't be getting as many paper cuts as when you open up thousands of envelopes.
So let me slow you down here a little bit. So actually you would, originally years ago, you'd get headshots, you'd open them up.
We still do. We're not that far yet. About another 5 years, everything will be done through the internet. But in the meantime, I get like 100 pictures a day. To 300 pictures a day.
Okay.
So usually I have my assistants open it up, but when they're too busy opening up, what we do is we take the pictures out, we set them to the side, we start picking out the featured ones that would be next to the stars, all the way down to the background and the ones that would be like not even seen. You just see their shoulders or their arms, but everybody has the basic rate.
And what you're talking about now is atmosphere or background people. Now these are people who are not really principally in the actual frame or photo or whatever. They're just in the back.
Correct.
Is that what that means?
And that works too differently with the unions. There's a Screen Actors Guild union, which gives us a minimum of up to 14 to 30 background talent have to be members of the Screen Actors Guild, let it be if it's a union film. If it's a non-union film, we basically pay them the minimum wage. Standard, a lot of good production companies usually give them $1 though, or so a day.
Is that, you mentioned 14 to 30, is that a number or percentage?
It's a percentage, because if you're underneath the Screen Actors Guild minimum, if you're in an ultra low budget, they could be all non-union. If you're in a budget under $2 million, they require the first 14 to 40 extras to be union per day if it's a commercial, or if it's a feature film or a TV show. TV shows, the numbers is roughly 14 to 15 of the first ones coming in per day. It depends on the budget. And then when you're over $2 million, they request up to the first 40. It all depends. There's a sliding scale depending on who your representative is at the Screen Actors Guild.
Now on the background and atmosphere category, does that work the same way for feature films and TV shows?
They're both separate.
Or is there a distinction?
There is a distinction. You'll have two different departments depending on your representative for the SAG, which is the Screen Actors Guild East or West. If you're going to go union, and the best is to go union if you're going to use a name, which we'll get into later. If you use no names, it's very difficult to sell your film. So that's why a lot of people do choose to go to the Screen Actors Guild route, so we can get names that will actually market and make profitability and make a lot of profit for your film. If you go the route of a non-union, then there is no basic rules. You can pay the talent of background and atmosphere, whatever you feel justifiable, but based no less than the state labor laws of whatever state or country that you're shooting in.
All right, let's go into the aspect on the television shows. Now, you mentioned it's a little bit different.
Right, a little bit.
Is the concept the same? These are people who are really not in the front.
Yep.
They're in the back. They're kind of taking up space. Is it the same thing for TV?
It's the same thing for TV. But which is really good is when you're with the union and you have background in atmosphere and the director really likes the talent and says, wow, I really feel that you fit this part. They will taft, which is pay up to $2,495 to taft that non-union person into the Screen Actors Guild when they give that talent, let's say, 3 or more words.
Okay. And then that will
upgrade.
You're talking about Taft-Hartley?
Taft-Hartley jurisdiction to the Screen Actors Guild.
All right.
And I've tafted hundreds of people in all the hundreds of films and commercials and features that I've done.
Has that really been beneficial for the overall?
Oh, the talent loves it. They come by and they bring me pizzas and sodas and cards every year. You know, out of the people that I've got tafted for the Screen Actors Guild, you know, hundreds. The Screen Actors Guild is nice and generous, and they give me a card once a year saying thank you, Joseph.
All right. Anything more you want to say on atmosphere background?
Atmosphere is very, if you're going to perform as an actor, the best thing to do, like Brad Pitt and all these other celebrities, they started out as a simple background talent. There's a lot of big companies and there's a lot of small companies and independent companies. But it's a very good working experience to start out as a background talent if you want to pursue your career as an actor or actress in the entertainment division.
So what you're saying is to initiate yourself at the ground level or in the basics, it's really advisable to start in that capacity.
Exactly.
Unless you get a proposal for a starring role, right?
Exactly,
but
right.
That's not
but
likely
that's
if you're beginning.
Yeah, that's not like, unless you've got your own money and you produce and cast
and put
your own self in the film.
Yeah,
Yes, which has happened.
Okay.
I've seen that happen once or twice every year.
But not likely.
Not likely, no.
So the beginning or basic stages, you can obtain a lot of experience by background or atmosphere presentation for who you are and what you're doing.
Exactly.